guys, welcome back to another episode of My Health, the My Health, My Way, My Henny, the My Health, My Way podcast, powered by MYDAWA. So lovely to have you here. We're here to have conversations around health and make it more accessible and definitely more fun. First of all, my name is Dushikuria. Let's start with me first. And I'm here with my lovely host,
Ndegwa,
Dr. Samira.
And today we have a fantastic episode set up for you guys. We're going to talk about all things skincare. We are all here with our bare faces today, so we can show you our real skin.
This is my real face.
Yeah.
This is my real face.
We're here with all our bare face today, so we can talk about skincare from a more vulnerable point of view and not just come here, with our makeup on. We want to talk about our skin and talk about our relationships with our skin, not just how they look like, but how we feel about them, and the fact that skincare is not just all you can see, but also what's going on the inside. Yeah. So with us today, we have this beautiful, gorgeous, amazing lady named Naomi. Naomi, welcome.
Thank you so much.
To have you here.
Thank you, ladies. So much energy in this room, by the way.
Thank you for being here. First of all, let's start off with giving you a chance to introduce yourself and tell us more about you and what got you into the skincare space.
Okay, all right. I think we're having that conversation, so I'll try to make it, very subtle.
Yeah.
So I'm Naomi. I'm the training manager at L'Oreal, specifically a division called L'Oreal Dermatological Beauty, because L'Oreal has an entity of many divisions. So I've worked in other divisions before, but just now, for now, I'm in the dermatological space. So previously, actually, I was a trainer, taking training of anatomy and physiology as a unit for students. And previously, before that, actually, I was a therapist, like real physical therapist.
Giving multifaceted.
I swear.
It's giving a woman,
Do you know how anatomy and physiology just give us dust? Show us dust.
In med school?
In med school. Physiology.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dr. Feeling, when you were in med school, how was your experience?
I down and dusted everything that I did in med school, so I don't know what was hard.
I love that series.
She's there gently telling us training.
I love that.
Yeah.
You came
But,
from working in the anatomical space.
Yes.
Is that the
Yeah. Woo!
King Garessa.
You also know Dr. Levan who?
Right? To now working in training in the skincare space.
Yes.
Oh, what a
I
journey.
did. Yeah, what a journey. So it's been a journey at L'Oreal. Honestly, working with so many brands, you get to understand a lot of the science behind the brands, how they're made, because L'Oreal is very big on science. So in terms of ingredients, and everything that's not been there before, because dermocosmetics is pretty huge.
Yeah.
And even in dermatological world, it's not like a unit that's available. Doctors nowadays now are getting to learn dermocosmetics from bodies like L'Oreal. Yeah, in terms of really understanding that, so that we can have better skincare for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Across
Everyone
board.
deserves,
I love
better
that.
skin.
Everyone deserves good skin.
And I love the fact that, especially with L'Oreal, has really had a lot of conversations regarding the dermatological aspect of skincare.
Exactly.
So now we're having more conversations where doctors and dermatologists are coming to the forefront of talking about your skincare journey, and it's not just from a position of the beauty.
Exactly.
Right? Which
Yes.
is what I meant when I said earlier, we're not just looking at how your skin looks like, but have you ever had those cameras when they look at your skin like really inside? The first time Ali did that to me, I was like, what?
Like this?
So
Like
rude.
this? Is it like this?
Sweetie, if you want to talk to me, don't go passing the
Corner, come to me direct.
And she was like, I realized I had so much hyperpigmentation. And I was like, but it looks like, I got it together. But inside, there's a lot more going on under the layer of your skin than just on top. And also, it's the largest organ.
Yes.
It's giving the carry. I don't know what to tell you guys, but I'm going to learn it. Right. So let me ask all you guys, what has been your journey with your skin? And then where you're at now? Have you had any struggles with it before? And what have those struggles been, if you want to share with us?
I can share for sure. I struggled with hormonal acne at some point in my life where I was breaking out a lot on my cheeks. So what I would do is I would always have like hair that I could wear down and probably wear a hat just so that I can cover the cheeks, because that's where I was breaking out a lot. So I've had my fair share of struggles for sure. And I had to go see a dermatologist. And I hope I look better now.
You look gorgeous.
I hope
You do gorgeous.
And I learned something actually when I went to the dermatologist, is that clear skin doesn't always mean healthy skin. And just because your skin is not clear doesn't mean your skin is not healthy. Just like healing, there's different steps as to get to a certain point, and pinpointing the issue first is what will get you to healthier and clearer skin. So yeah.
I love that. That clear skin doesn't mean healthy skin, and non-clear or not clear skin doesn't
not
mean
mean
that it's
it's
unhealthy.
unhealthy.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, not everything that meets the eye is what the eye is meeting.
Exactly. Hey!
If that has made sense.
Whoa!
Hashtag.
That's the hashtag for this podcast.
That's the hashtag for this podcast. What about you, Doc?
I'm so ashamed to say this. So
You have never had a problem in your life with your skin.
Yeah. Yes.
We love that for you, sweetie.
Yes.
what happened was
Just be honest.
my mother gave me good genes. Thank you so much.
I love
Amen.
that. Thanks, Mama.
Thank you so much. But also, I think when it comes to me, it's just mainly focusing on the way my skin is so dry. Like so dry. Like right now,
And I'm
I've
the
moisturized
opposite.
twice. Like before I even came for this episode,
No way.
I was like, let me just like add a layer,
Yeah.
and then
And
you
does
know
it
that
feel
cascade
dry?
of mine.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm just feeling like what?
What?
It's already so dry.
And it
I'm
doesn't
here
look
always
it.
asking the CeraVe team, guys, your ceramides are not ceramiding. Why are they not on my skin?
I want ceramide.
Yeah, they're not ceramiding. Anyway. But during COVID, when we were doing the whole mask thing, I was part of the maskne gang.
Right, so people
Yeah.
got like you got acne at the,
Yeah,
at the
just
borders
here.
of where you're.
Your mask was.
Because again, you know, we were doing the whole PPE kit.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's nothing that is exposed.
Right.
It's just here, and
Right.
even that
Yeah.
has like a key glass.
Right.
And I wouldn't realize like how much bacteria and whatever that would accumulate here
Yes.
under the mask. And I just, for the first time in my life, I was like, wow. In uni, my roommate and my best friend in uni was struggling with her acne journey. And I would like, of course, I'm compassionate with her. Like, I'm understanding, like, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
But then I was like, wow, actually, damn, I'm so, like,
Yeah.
patients are looking at me and I'm like, so you're looking at my
acne,
acne?
Oh my
right?
gosh,
Is that all you're
can
looking
relate,
at?
can relate.
I know you're just staring, but yeah. So as usual, I started with the Koreans, you know. I started with, like
11, 12 steps.
12
yeah,
steps.
that was my intro to skincare.
Yeah.
And I did like the Korean thing, and I asked, I think this babe on Instagram, like what, I even sent her photos, I remember. I was like, what do I do about my skin? I didn't go to a dermatologist. I should have just
Yeah,
gone to it.
exactly.
But it still helped, kidogo. But then again, I discovered now MYDAWA. And they were having a sale, that Black Friday sale for November.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
that sweet deal.
Yeah.
And then I just saw this brand called La Roche, and then
Yeah.
like everything like they described, like I have eczema. I got adult onset eczema.
Oh,
because
really?
I
You
have-
didn't have it
yeah,
till you're younger?
Yeah, no.
Because you have dry skin.
Yeah, and I'm also asthmatic, so I think like people who have atopy like can adopt.
Out of what? Out of who?
Like, you know, like-
another name for eczema.
eczema.
Okay,
Yes.
I didn't know. It
I'm going
sounded
to
like
start using that one.
a medicine. Atopy.
You're struggling with
Atopy.
Atopy.
So then I started the Lipica range. So I started now using that range, and it really cleared my acne. And I was like, acne who again?
I'm back,
Back to
baby.
default
I'm back
settings.
like a
Back to
never
default
left.
So yes, I'm on this journey just to figure out like how to get rid of my hyperpigmentation and being convinced like sunscreen is actually important, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to discuss that.
Yeah, I was on
You
that
are not
team
those
for
guys,
I
are
would
Remis.
never wear
The
Hermes
melanin
gang.
is working
Never.
overtime. Why do
What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I'm a doctor. What do you mean sunscreen?
Right.
Yeah.
Not I'm a doctor. What?
I have learned those cancers, but sunscreen. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been my
been your journey.
my
What about
short
you, Naomi?
acne journey.
Yeah.
What about
Okay,
you?
What about you?
Actually, today when I came to discuss about skin and I looked at all your faces, I was like, okay, are they gonna get it? Because the skins, you know, they look perfect. And all these journeys, I'm
Amen.
like,
That is a compliment from.
Thank you. We appreciate
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Do you
I
want to
feel
come
great.
back?
it depends. If you let me come back, you know, it's all on you.
Yeah, so how has been your
Yeah.
personal
So for me,
journey?
honestly, I've struggled with acne. You know, acne is a chronic disease. People don't think about it that way, but it's actually defined as a chronic disease in the medical field because, of
learned
course, it's an
something
onset
new.
that occurs over a period over 2 weeks to even many years of your
Yes.
lifetime. You can have it, I think, like you told me with your friend, 16 years
Yes.
Yeah.
battling the
Yes,
disease.
yes.
So it doesn't kill you.
But
Literally, but of course,
This is
it deters
chronic.
your life and
Yeah.
the day-to-day, you know, activities. So for me, acne started typically as a teenager.
Yeah.
You get into puberty, your hormones kick in, your cortisol levels come in, so there's sebum production. So, you know, you start with a few breakouts on your forehead, typical ones, you know, very mild, a bit more moderate. But by the time I was finishing Form 4, I remember it was so bad. So my mom was like, you know, after you clear school, I'll take you to a dermatologist.
Oh.
Yeah, so at 19, that was my first visit to a derma. And for me, as much as I was given, you know, the typical medication that treat acne, you know, your benzoyl, tretinoin combined, you know, an acne soap, there was lack of anything else. There was no moisturizer, there was no sunscreen, and also there was zero empathy from the doctor. Because I think empathy is something that you don't relate to acne patients. So you don't tell them, actually, there's always a prejudgment. Have you done something? Did you do this? Have you not done this? Just wait for it, it will pass. It's age, you know, all these things.
Thank you.
Yes,
you're not really clean.
Yes, yeah, sure.
Are you eating
bothering
fatty
your mother? This
foods?
is age, you'll be surpass it, you know, maybe when you're
I didn't
28
know that,
or
you know,
so.
because not having, I didn't know that that's how the kind of treatment you receive when you're going, and this is
Back
emotionally.
then. Right
Back
now,
then, back
right now
then.
it's definitely it's different. It's a different story.
Yeah,
But back then,
I
of
hope
course.
so. Yes.
Yes. So anyway, I started off, and of course with the medication, they over dry your skin. So I'm very oily genetically. My mom, my sister, we're all very oily. So the medications over dry you like crazy with zero sunscreen. So you can imagine the pigmentation that comes after. So I think in and out, you know, just trying to research, do stuff in and out, try a few things, not really getting there. So by the time I think I got very clear skin is after delivery of my first child.
I was going to ask you, what were we delivering?
CeraVe products, La Roche products.
But even before then,
Right.
you know, in between I had learned a few things about using dermocosmetics, like a right cleanser, that's, you know, that not too oily, a good moisturizer, and just a typical, I didn't even know about sunscreen in terms of choosing, as long as it's sunscreen. I think that time it was Nivea.
Yeah,
It
we
was
didn't
back
even.
then.
With the white castor.
That's
with
why
the white
I
with the
stick
white
sunscreen.
cast.
Let me tell you, you had to, you know, you were rubbing that thing
And it was not going
But the
away.
thing is, one thing I appreciate about it is it was one of the first products to introduce us to sunscreen.
Yeah.
And honestly, even I can still smell it.
Same.
I can smell it. It really introduced us into skincare and into sunscreen, which is something that we are going to get into.
Oh yeah, and we didn't even know about SPFs, huh? We didn't know
What
about
is SPF 50,
SPF
what is 30, what is 45, what is 70.
That's true. So anyway, long journey short. You know, even after birth, you know, your hormones will always come back as they were before you were pregnant. So a few breakouts here and there. So it's back to the derma, and this time round, they're giving you dermocosmetics plus medication. So, and then with time, with the dermatologist, the one I work with, they've put me on like a roadmap, because you cannot see them forever. So you need to have a roadmap of where you're going, where you're starting, the base, the middle, and then by the time you're getting to where, you know, a level where you don't need to see them regularly, you're on maintenance level, where you purely use dermocosmetics, which is what I use. And thank God for La Roche-Posay and CeraVe.
Yeah.
Amen.
And you're looking glorious. I was telling you earlier, I couldn't.
Oh my, you
if had
couldn't
told
tell.
me that you've been struggling with acne from the age of like late teens.
Yes.
You don't have known.
Not at all.
Same thing
Not
for you
at
to me.
all.
Like I don't think I would have known.
Yeah, and to be
right?
honest, mine came probably after high school, which is when, you know, boyfriends, people start going out, and I'm like, goodness, people, when we're speaking, it's like, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I look
Are you looking at my cheeks? Are you looking at my cheeks?
That's true.
So it's like, what? No, I wasn't looking at. So then, of course, with confidence, it's a downer. So let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So at least then dermatologist and stuff like that. And I actually have very oily skin. So I was using African black soap, you know, that black Ghanaian soap that totally dries
you
out
out,
your face. And at the time, I don't think moisturizers were that big. That's around what, 2017. They weren't that big. So you do that, then you do
Calculate
Epimax.
her age now.
Don't, guys. I'm just a baby.
That's
I'm just a baby.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, and so you do Epimax and, you know, sunscreen, you don't think about it only when you're swimming. And so because I have oily skin and I was drying out, and the patches where I have been popping pimples were just, you know, dry, and then everywhere else is oily, it was not pretty. Let's put it that way. But I think even now, and funny enough, on this table,
Sitting space.
we're a combination of skin. So she has combination skin, I have oily skin, and she has dry skin. So maybe in this conversation we can you know, learn a bit more, and for the audience to also find out a bit more about how to take care of the skin, especially because skin issues, sometimes they come, sometimes they go. So what better way to find out how to take care of your skin than to have you?
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that you started off with the different skin types, because it's always good to know, you know, genetically where you're predisposed, because now that will guide you way better in understanding the care you need to give it.
Yeah.
So with oily skin, of course, you know, we all produce sebum. Okay, we all need sebum. It's proper for hydrating your skin so that you don't crack open, even if you don't use a moisturizer, literally.
Don't crack open. Where did my
Literally, you
sebum
know,
go?
like, but now with people who are predisposed to overproduction of sebum, the oily skin types as we call them, you find that now you're producing too much oil.
Yeah.
And then of course, you know, the oil glands are located specifically on your face, your chest and your back. Because you always forget that with acne. We always think about the face.
Yeah.
And you can have back acne,
acne.
you can have, of course, you know, chest acne. That is really quite, you know, it's part of, especially as a woman.
Yeah.
It's revealing.
Yeah.
Something you want to showcase.
Show my cleavage.
Yes, yes, yes.
The bosom.
Yeah.
The Cinderella. Cinderella. I'm not.
We've been practicing.
As in,
That tells us your age.
No.
You know when you say, telling you our mother, Cinderella.
Yeah.
I was about to say
We're telling her to have
Kamisi was
kamisi.
next.
Somebody
but
said
anyway.
kamisi was those days lingerie. Eh?
It
Yeah,
was.
someone has
It was.
kamisi, you're like, oh,
The first time I saw
anyway.
someone- anyway, let's we are
Yeah.
Let's go back.
Yes. So in that sense, what happens is now for you to know, not for typical audience, you don't want the same, not complex things, it's just to know, how would I know if I'm oily? One, if you're not breaking out, which is normally like now an onset of a few things, which I'll explain, you have a tendency of being very shiny, like I am. Yeah, we are my
Even
oiliness
me.
with pride. It's my sense of glow, so to speak.
Glow
Put
up.
that on a t-shirt and wear. Yes.
Posh budget.
I love that. Yes.
As you have to buy a 6,000 worth of glow, but
She's moisturizing twice, you know.
Imagine.
You can imagine. So
my
sometimes
gosh,
you know, you take your struggles and you make them shine.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think
Shiny.
now that I'm continuing to mention this, I used to think I have the biggest forehead. I still do. But
It's a Kenya.
all
it's a
through
Kenyan.
college, you know, I'd have the Alicia Keys hat. I used to be called Alicia Keys. I used to
Because
have
you
this
used to have the-
all
really?
colors.
Really?
Yeah, so
You were like,
one day I met, this older, you know, mama was like, you know what you do, Naomi, you don't hide your forehead. You flaunt it. So be doing most of those and people will get used to it. So I started doing most of those. And with time I was like, oh, it's actually not
By
bad.
the way,
Yeah.
Back to the sebum.
And then for the people who don't come,
but it's banana
it's a
style.
ponytail.
Cindy,
Yes. Up here.
Banana style.
Yeah, let your forehead shine.
Yeah, they call it now the
Kenyan
shaggy
Paris
bun. You know, they put all these fancy names to it.
Yeah.
You do a bun or whatever.
It's called a
Mosodo.
Mosodo. It's called a Mosodo.
Mosodo. So anyway, back to the overproduction. So how would you know? So the shininess is there. So typically when you wash your face, you look okay, you look matte. Even if you're oily, even your pores look a bit more shrunk. But as you move around your day, an hour or two, then you know the overproduction starts to come in.
Yes.
It could be, most of the time if you're oily, it's all over
Everywhere.
the face.
Right.
It's everywhere. If you're combinational, then it's part of your faces. Yeah, which the T-zone.
For me, it's my T-zone,
And then the
yeah.
butterfly zone, if you're really just
cheeks.
having the cheeks,
Yeah.
having the breakouts.
Yeah.
And then now, apart from the oiliness, now comes the other onset of the breakouts, the acne
Yeah.
aspect. So now how those two interact is that for you to develop acne, you have the overproduction of sebum. Then the overproduction of sebum, when it comes to the surface level, now what we see, the epidermis, it is too much. And then when you're shedding off your dead skin cells and your keratin cells, you're not able to do it as efficiently. So when those two clog together with the pore,
the
with the
pores are
sebum,
blocked.
you get a clogged pore. The blackhead and the whitehead. When that's now mild acne, very, very mild, you know, just a good cleanser and exfoliation, it's good to go. But now it can progress, become moderate to even severe. Now when it comes to moderate, that onset is present, and then now there is bacteria that comes in, okay, the C. acne bacteria comes in, and then now with the bacteria, then you find the pimples are different. You have the pustules, the ones you look like you can, yes, like you can, exactly. That means there's already bacteria, and that comes also with, you know, others, it could not, they could just be typical pimples that are very red, okay, which means there's inflammation.
Yeah.
Because of course, given your skin is an organ, when it starts before the inflammation becomes very chronic on cystic level, then it tries to heal itself. So your pimples become red because your skin is responding, trying to heal to the whole imbalance of the overproduction and the pimples that are present. So when that occurs, then you have now categorically have moderate acne. So you're having blocked pores, oiliness, and then the pimples that you can pop here and there. Some are red, some have pus. And then now can of course continue growing up to even now, moderate towards severe and very severe, where now the pustules become nodules. They're bigger in size, painful, and then now they're cystic, which is like the last phase, where now it's really critical, and then it's all over your face. Sometimes even when you're grading acne, you look at how much it is on the face. With mild, moderate, it's typically not taken everywhere. It could be just on your cheeks, you know, and your forehead looks really good, you know. But by the time you're getting to moderate and very severe, it's everywhere. You can't miss it. And then of course now the different sizes, if I would call them, of pimples are present, what you're calling the cysts, the nodules, and then now the typical pimples and pustules. So that's typically how you would categorically put it. But it doesn't mean if you're oily, you'd have acne all the time. You can start a good skincare routine and avoid the onset of that journey. Or also you could be having the acne and then you try now to treat it. Of course, we have the doctors. They'll treat you with different medications. And of course, dermocosmetics, specifically La Roche-Posay, is there to assist in treatments we call adjunctive, where we combine both the medication and the dermocosmetics together.
I love that.
I love that. So like, actually, now that we're talking about routine, I'd like us to jump onto that. And let me start with you, Samira, because you have dry skin. Before we get to the two of you and your oily skin journey, what's your skincare routine currently and how is it working for your journey with your dry skin?
So my skincare routine now is like basic Betty. So it's a cleanser, and my cleanser it has to be a moisturizing one, because anytime I wash my face with anything else, it just feels like, you know, that squeaky clean. Like even sometimes
like you wash a glass.
Not a glass. There's a
like before I even tap my face dry, I already feel like it's dry.
So if you were to use the African black soap, I feel like you'd crack.
Guy.
Thank God I've never
Combust.
tried it. So I do the moisturizing one, and I mix between the CeraVe one and the La Roche one, depending on what season my body is in for the flare-ups. So, and then after that, I do the Lipica moisturizer, and then I use now the moisturizer and then the sunscreen during the day. Then at night, I've recently added a new baby
Tell
that
us.
I love.
The
dual serum, Eucerin, the Eucerin anti-pigment.
There's gonna be a picture, because me, I can't even understand what she's
Eucerin.
saying.
It's like pink, reddish,
anti-pigment,
maroonish.
Serum. It's like it's like champagne color.
Thank you.
Whoa.
Diohi hapa.
Actually,
Yeah, it is.
Let me tell you, that thing, I started in December last year, and
can
it's
see
just
the
cleared a lot of my
Hyperpigmentation.
hyperpigmentation.
I should write
and
it
I don't
down.
know why, weirdly enough, I don't get like the random, like, you know, like before your periods, you get like those, that one
breakouts.
ugly, but
She's just here.
I call her Patrice. I'm sorry for all the Patrice, but that's one Patrice. Huh? Anyway.
I call mine Delilah, because you can see that song for Hey There, Delilah.
Get out.
Okay, let's continue.
So in conclusion, that's my.
Oh.
I like the fact that you've used that product now since December for the last almost 6 months, and you can see
Wow.
The
difference.
change.
Yeah, what a wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, what's about you?
Oh,
Let's
me.
start with you, Finny.
So
What's your current
again,
routine?
simple. I was about to get into the craze of buying serums and all those things because of social media, to be quite honest with you. And if you think about it, these skincare products are not cheap.
They're not.
So if I was to go and buy all the 15 products that I'm seeing, I wouldn't be able to tell what was going to work for me. And I had started, I'm guilty, I had started buying all of them one by one. However, I chose to go with a simple routine, just like Samira. So have a cleanser, a moisturizer, and a sunscreen for during the day. Just as simple as that. And then at night is where I alternate my layering. So for example, I have a BC, so I'll do a La Roche because I have oily skin. There's a blue Effeclar Duo, La Roche, a face
Effeclar
wash.
foaming cleanser.
Exactly,
Blue one,
Effeclar, whatever, Eclair. Eclair,
Say it right,
Effeclar.
I'm here. Effaclar.
Effaclar.
Effaclar. There you go.
Not Effeclairs, no, Effaclar. So the Effaclar foaming cleanser,
Yes.
which because I'm oily, it doesn't strip me of my oil. So I don't leave feeling like if I yawn, I'll pasuka. No, it feels perfect. And then I go in with the Efakla duo.
Oh yeah,
Little
mine
thing.
too.
Now, I was very prone to breakouts during my period. Very. In fact, I would have a painful one literally right here in between, or my nose, or just here. So you could not miss it. That thing has changed my life. Jokes aside, I'm not even plugging La Roche here, guys. Now I'm too quail because I've been posting on my stories too. It's changed my life, and it's helped with my texture because I used to have those small, tiny dots that were very evident, especially when I did my makeup. Nowadays, I do my makeup and I'm looking
Flawless.
snatched. Then I do a moisturizer. Sometimes I use Nivea Soft, which is like 400 bob. There's Katube, or I use a La Roche one, fine, and then I go in with the sunscreen. So always SPF 50, and I have to check if it has a white cast because black skin girl. Then at night, I'll go in with the same first half, which is the washing with the same product. Then I will use a serum, which is a La Roche B3, B something. It's like red in color. The bottle is red in color. It looks kind of opaque. It's a retinol.
Retinol.
It's a retinol.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a retinol. And then I'll do my moisturizer and then, call it a night. Sometimes I will use the new Duo M.
Yes.
It's called a Duo M. It's like the same
Efakla
tube.
Duo now
Efakla
is
Duo.
Efakla Duo
It's not
plus M.
moisturizer.
Exactly. Now plus M. So because I've used it for almost a month, I can't quite tell what it's doing for me. However, that's simply it. I don't use, I want to change, so you can advise me. I want to deal with hyperpigmentation, which is something that I'm struggling a lot with. But simple.
And you're so clear about it. I love you're so well versed with your skin.
Yes, I've had
That's
to
really
be.
impressive. I like
I've
that.
had to
Can you pause? Because there's someone behind the camera who's had all that whole list, and he's like,
He's
that's
writing.
simple.
That's
Me and my sabuni and maji.
And Aramis.
Actually, you know that thing for men for 3-in-1. Your shampoo is also your body wash, is also your face wash.
But the worst part about it,
it's separate.
but the worst part,
the 3-in-1?
this is also for men, because men, you find they do Aramis and go and their skin is so clear. And their skin is clear, they don't have breakouts, they don't do
Even
anything
the 3-in-1.
extra.
Have you ever seen a guy's shower and he has a 3-in-1 shower gel?
It's head and shoulders.
I was like, what is that? He told me it's for hair, face and body. I told him, what are you talking about?
How do you do it?
How does it? Because, okay. My brain was taking a screenshot. I was like, this the entire time. What do you mean you're using the same thing?
Yeah. But you say we're different from men, even in anatomy, and we change.
Yeah, genetic.
And we have to agree on this. You know, for the men, although they say, when you're born with your gonads, which is like your testes, they stay the same forever.
Yeah.
But for us, they form in the womb as you're a baby.
Right.
And then, of course, they're dormant until you're in puberty. And then from there, there's always a change.
Yeah.
So even in breakouts, we always say they're like the 4 Ps of breakouts for women.
Yeah.
And you could have avoided them, but in between you'll find you get one.
Yes.
There's what is it called? Puberty. And then you have pregnancy. And then you have premenopause and even postmenopause. Which are things we never talk about.
Yes,
Because
I'm tired in
we are
advance.
controlled by our hormones.
We are.
And they change by the time you're in your 30s, as you progress, your estrogen levels drop. It's the one hormone that controls inflammation in your body. You no longer have it in plenty as you did before. You see? And we don't even have therapy treatments that we're giving for these women. So in between, when men are just staying the same, we do have all these changes occurring.
You know what?
So they can get away with the 3-in-1.
Apparently, we only have one free week. It's either we're ovulating or we're on our menses or we have a few.
Just
a few days.
If you do so well, you get pregnant, you get pregnancy acne. It's really crazy.
Okay, now you can walk us through. I was going to say,
Sorry, you didn't tell
my
us.
skincare routine.
Yeah.
Guys, I have maybe 7 serums. You don't want to know.
Wow, she's
But your skin is
fantastic.
like that
She
of a
was
baby.
saying, but the thing is, what I did was I started with a very simple skincare routine when I was 19.
Wow, you were aware of yourself.
Because I used to watch my mom, and I'm an only girl.
Wow.
So I used to watch her and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love the fact that my mom takes care of her skin. And I'd be like, okay, so what do you do? So she took me to the supermarket, and I remember we bought a very simple, very cheap line of like a wash and a moisturizer. So that's what I had. I was really excited because I was like, oh my god, I have a different wash and moisturizer for my face and my body. And then as I got into, I remember specifically when I got into my 30s, I started adding serums. So it started off very simple with like, I wanted to add a niacinamide serum because also a lot of the pollution we face with like living in Nairobi and it's a concrete jungle. I wanted to create a barrier between my skin and niacinamide is really, and also for my hyperpigmentation because I realized that I have really bad hyperpigmentation beneath the layer that you see. I have under dark circles under my eyes, but that's genetic for me, so I don't mind it. And then just started packing them on. So right now I have like niacinamide, hyaluronic acid. I use a vitamin C serum. I use retinol at night. I added retinol maybe a year ago, just because I wanted to test it out how it was. For a few breakouts I'd get once in a while, and now it's become part of my routine. I'm a serum girl. I really believe in them. I pack them on. I love them. I love the feeling of how packed my skin feels. But also, what I love the most is how plump my skin feels, because in the 30s is also where your collagen starts kind of just telling you, I don't want to be here no more. And I was very worried about collagen leaving my skin, and I want to be able to still feel the plumpness of my skin. And plumpness does not mean because I'm a chubby girl. Plumpness is about the feeling of hydration. So I started off with just maybe I added a toner, then went into serums, then slowly packed on my serums, then I give them maybe like a 3-month waiting time before I see if I want to add anything else or remove something. I've added serums before that have given me breakouts instantly, which I know that's the serum that brought this on. And then because when I add things periodically, I'm able to know what doesn't work for my skin and what does. What combinations don't work also, because there are some combinations that don't work and there are some that do. So with my skin, I'm those people I don't just wake up like this. Like I do the work for it. Like I'm very, I don't sleep with my makeup on. And most people. I do mask. I do a face mask once or twice a week. Thank you.
And what about you?
Thank
you know, we've not even, mashallah. Say mashallah. What about you,
your mom?
Thank you. Yes. Thanks, Mama.
Okay.
Thanks, honey.
Yeah, so for me, because of my breakouts, I keep my cleanser very simple. I use a CeraVe foaming cleanser. And this was, yes, that's what I use. And I'm oily. I know it says, dry skin. No. I actually do use that because now after I'll have many other actives that I'm going to include. Effaclar Duo Plus M and now Effaclar Duo in the past is something that I cannot do without.
Yes.
Even as a spot treatment, because sometimes you don't break out everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
But you have the spot treatment and you can literally put it on the spot, which I do. And after 1, 2, 3 days, people can actually quote me, that pimple has dried out.
Yeah, without leaving a scar.
Without leaving a scar.
Yeah.
True story. No, it's not even something that, I'm trying to say because I work for the brands.
I can testify. It's worked for me too.
Yeah, so that's something that I have. And now for me, even with the serums, I'm like that. One, I've always, ever since I started serums, hyaluronic acid is the main one that I've never missed. I've switched in between brands from L'Oreal Paris to La Roche-Posay, in and out, just trying to see the textures, to Vichy as well, because they also have, a hyaluronic serum. And for me, the 3 brands, I love them all, almost equally. It depends also where I am. Sometimes I travel a lot, so change of weather, change of climate, I tend to pick and, if I'm going somewhere where it's very humid, then I'll pick something that's less, like now I'll pick the L'Oreal Paris. Right. I mean, Nairobi, definitely La Roche-Posay throughout, because it's more drier. The air is so dry. Yeah. So that's always something that's present. So that comes after I've cleansed my face. Before I even go in with any Effaclar Duo Plus M, it's always a hyaluronic acid serum first. And then now I go bits and bits. With niacinamide, I use it majorly, not because I have hyperpigmentation, but because of my pores. I'm very oily, and to look for something that's going to minimize my pores and not maybe picking an active like salicylic acid because I don't have so much breakouts, which would really work on very, enlarged pores. I use niacinamide in the evenings after the hyaluronic acid, okay? And then in the morning, I use vitamin C. So I'm still on the serums before I go into the moisturizers.
Yeah.
I use vitamin C. Vitamin C, of course, it's good just to give you that glow.
And let me tell you, sorry to interrupt you, but vitamin C was something I added this year also.
Yes.
What?
Really?
It gives you like a... Yeah.
Yeah.
For the girls for audio, what do I tell you? It gives that,
pizzazz. But then, for someone who's oily,
I know.
just a sidebar before you continue. For somebody who's oily, what would you say? which glow? Because look at me, please.
I know
I am
already.
shining like the morning star.
Yeah.
I don't have vitamin C.
Yeah.
So what would vitamin C help me with? Yeah.
Yeah. So there is shining, and then there's glowing. And sometimes you can somebody who's like babies shine.
Yeah.
Put Vaseline on, they're shining. They're not glowing. It's really shining. Sometimes you can have very dry skin and dehydrated skin, and you're really shining. It's even very unhealthy, and it's really a very unhealthy shine. But glow, you can tell the skin, as you were saying, it's hydrated. It's like quenched. It's not thirsty.
I don't know what that feels like.
I don't know how.
Can't relate. That's why she's here today. That's why she's here today to help you dry skin girlies.
To dissect
Yeah,
she'll
she'll
dry
give you
skin.
guys
Yeah,
tips.
so I'd have it. And also vitamin C is a very powerful antioxidant. And you talked about the environment and the pollution. And of course, when you have all these processes of the environment, there's a term I'm looking for. When they come into your skin cells, they disbalance how your skin cells work. So even when it comes to the skin, the free radicals which are present all the time, vitamin C is a powerful antioxidant to make sure it's a barrier between you and the free radicals. Yes.
Does that prevent like skin cancer and stuff?
It would, generally, but of course there are other things in terms of preventing skin cancer, in terms of other practice. It's not just that one.
Sunscreen.
Yeah, there's so many other things
True.
as well, but it's always good to have it as a plus on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll follow now with a moisturizer. For the moisturizer, this is where, not because I have products with me. You do? No, that you have products and you're like, I can test this, I can test that today.
Yeah.
But in terms of this, I keep my moisturizers very light. Very light, yeah. So
Yeah.
there's an Effaclar matte moisturizer, very good for oily skin, which I use morning and evening. But at times in the evening, when I feel I want more plumpness and hydration, I would use even a CeraVe one. And I know it's for dry skin, but I would, because I'm going to sleep and I'll wash it off in the morning.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I would. And then our sunscreen is my go-to. Before I leave here, I'll apply a sunscreen. I apply sunscreen like lotion.
You reapply?
Yes, I reapply. I actually overabuse, I would say. Really?
I don't reapply, which is a good...
I'd love to talk about sunscreen actually.
Yeah.
Let's just, because I feel like it's a conversation, especially for men. I don't know how many men have told me before that we don't need sunscreen.
I don't use...
That's you have a two-in-one.
That's a guilty response.
Kipande. Yeah.
Your sunscreen is your moisturizer.
Your sunscreen is your moisturizer.
Yeah.
It's a moisturizing
sunscreen.
Which one is this?
What are you
really
talking
want-
about?
I-
Which one are you talking about? Name the product right now.
It's by Uncover.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because I really, what I wanted to talk about, I feel like men, first of all, don't believe. I'm talking to all of you. And if you know me personally, sweetie, I'm talking to you specifically. Okay? Men don't believe in sunscreen. But also, I've talked to women who, up until maybe their 30s,
Didn't know.
think about sunscreen. I've talked to people who don't. First of all, I want to find out about wearing sunscreen and the importance, especially melanated people. The more melanin you have, you're told that you don't really need it, but I think we do, and I'd like us to discuss that.
Yeah.
Also discussing the concept of what do we need to pack anything on our skin before wearing the sunscreen, or can you just run down? Oh, that's the word I want to use.
No.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's just rewear. Or do you just want to place the sunscreen on your face before you
Yeah.
have something? Because I also feel like sometimes sunscreens can be a bit, especially the higher the SPF.
Yeah.
If you've ever put sunscreen on your skin, like right out of the pool, swimming, I felt tingly, and I know feeling tingly is not a good thing for skin. Like you're not supposed to be feeling tingly when you
Ever.
put things on your skin. Is that a normal?
It's a myth.
It's
Oh,
a myth.
really?
Yeah.
Here you go.
So, actually, let's
myth
talk-
number one.
Myth number one.
Yeah.
So the first myth. Let's talk about sunscreen and all things sunscreen and,
Okay.
and melanin and the purposes and the myths.
All right. So at least right now, I like that Kenyan is a cultured country whereby we have trends and everybody is in a trend. I feel like the whole of last year, the trend of sunscreen has been there.
100%.
People have
The
now
two-finger
been
thing.
using.
Yeah, 2 finger
Yeah,
thing.
everywhere you go, there's
Yeah.
all about sunscreen, which
It's
is a
like a
good
craze.
thing.
Yeah.
Finally, finally.
Yeah.
So in terms of us being, our phototypes is 4 to 5, majority of Kenyans. We also do have people who are 3, even 2, even 1.
Daktari, phototypes?
What is that?
Explain to our
I
audience.
was like,
Yes.
Phototypes?
So phototypes is like the skin tone.
okay.
What is my
Or like
tone?
from mocha or from light,
Yes.
like a light cream to
Yes.
deep chocolate.
Yes. So we have 1 to 6.
I didn't know that.
Can you give us our phototypes?
So all of you are falling in between 4 to 6.
Who's 4?
Yes. You
See
slightly,
you.
but also going towards 5 because you're not like really, but the
thought
rest of
it
us,
would be
5.
5.
6 is a Sudanese or some really, really, really
Beautiful,
dark.
that
Yeah.
dark
Yeah,
deep
but that's
color.
where I would fall, you know,
Right,
which
colour.
if you ever heard of Fitzpatrick, they always prescribe that in terms of sun care and now the phototypes, but they call it Fitzpatrick because the person who got to understand about sunscreen, his name was Fitzpatrick. So he called it
It was a
Fitzpatrick.
guy?
It was a guy.
Guys,
It was a guy.
I don't know what to tell y'all.
So that's why you put in all those phototypes there. And all,
Right.
yeah. So in terms of that, we all make melanin, of course. But when you talk about sunscreen, why do I need it? Why would you tell somebody, why do you need a sunscreen? What are some of the skin conditions or what would happen if I don't use? Maybe that would be the first place where you'd start.
Right.
So of course for us, I always say, what we're struggling majority of in terms of Kenya is hyperpigmentation one, which most of the time can be immediate hyperpigmentation, and then it can be very persistent. If you talk with people, if you have hyperpigmentation, whether it's post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, maybe from breakouts, you find that it can be very persistent.
Yeah,
1 year
constantly.
on, you're still struggling with the
Exactly.
pigmentation, And then you have immediate hyperpigmentation where literally it's very sunny, you go to Mombasa,
You come
after
back
2
with
hours,
dark. Yeah.
or even after 1 week, you
That's
have
it.
already had a tan. Yeah, that's darker.
That's me.
That's
Yes.
our, and you see that's where we're placed in terms of our phototypes. We get pigmented very fast. Very fast, okay? We don't burn as now the other phototypes 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
The Caucasians.
Yes.
Then they got the sun with no protection, they burn.
Sunburn. Yeah.
For us, we rarely burn.
I burn.
No, like
Now you
then
see
the
it's
burn
a
is the
bit-
one that
yeah,
you can
like
even
almost
scab, they
immediate.
peel.
Yes.
Like burning.
And the
like a
burns
burn.
also depends if you have protection or not. It's a typical burn. So it also has, grades. You could have, 1% or 2, whatever, in terms. But I always say with a sunburn, because it's a burn, after you treat it well with nice ointment, then it scabs off, and then you're back to being okay. But with us with pigmentation, you can have it for a long period, and it's coming from the UV rays. You see, it's coming from that. Of course, with post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, you've maybe messed up with the pimple touching it, but now the sun rays makes it worse. Okay, or the UV rays, if I would call them that. So that's one thing that we're struggling with majorly. A lot of hyperpigmentation, and that's a very big topic in discussion. And then now we have photoaging. So photoaging is whereby now the UV rays are making your skin look a little bit older than your typical age. Yeah. And that also comes in relation with pigmentation. I always say, if you typically look at women who are in their 50s and above, and for them, typically sunscreen was not something they've grown up using.
100%.
You'd find they have a pigmentation right underneath their eyes. It's melasma, which is really bad pigmentation that makes that area very hard,
Yes.
very dark, and it's really hard to treat. And it makes them, of course, look a little older. Because at 50, you're still very young, if you ask
Exactly.
me.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should be looking in a typical way.
Yeah.
Because as much as we don't get wrinkles as fast, those are some of the ways that we age. It's the pigmentation. And then now the different expression lines look a bit deeper before they become wrinkles. So those are the bases of why you need to use a sunscreen. Of course, when you talk about skin cancers, they're there. Talk to dermatologists, they'll tell you they treat skin cancers. It may not be talked about, but I talked to one doctor and she told me she treats a lot of skin cancers on the earlobes
Oh, interesting.
in her clinic in Kenya.
Oh, interesting.
Oh.
Yes.
How?
I know her ear. She says a lot on the earlobes because I think with earlobes, it's not somewhere we put any attention to.
Right, when you're
I have
forget.
never put any form
Anything.
of moisture on my ears. Let me tell
When
you.
you
Actually,
oil your
it
skin,
puts
do you
can-
stop it here?
Yes.
No,
My
people
neck and my
do.
ears are part
Yes.
of my...
But people
Really?
do.
Which is a
People
good
But you know
People
me,
do.
I'm a hijabi girl. Like, I even forget
Ah.
my ears exist.
Yeah.
It's not that they exist.
So typically those are the
people
things
forget.
I would say, you're melanated, yes. But those two things you can never run away from. And they're the things that we're seeing so rampant with no sun care. They can actually be
God.
prevented with sun care. Okay? So when you talk about sunscreens, we talk about them preventing you from the UV rays damage. We have 3 types of UV rays that come from the sun that reach us. So we have UVCs that do not surpass the ozone layer. They never get anywhere to us. And then you have the UVBs, 5% reach us from the sun. They get to us. And then we have the UVA rays, which are the biggest and the strongest. 95% of those UVA rays reach us from the sun. So that means they're present throughout the year, every single time, even when the calendar changes and the weather patterns change, they are present. So that's why when I say, don't say call them sun rays, because we always say sunscreen with sun, whether there's sun.
But there is that.
So even when it's
the
cold,
rays.
you wear
Yes.
sunscreen.
And then in terms of what I've talked about, the pigmentation and the photoaging, they are caused by UVA rays, not UVB. UVB causes a sunburn.
Got you. And that's only 5%.
It's only 5% that reaches. Yeah. That's why people travel from Europe to come to Mombasa to make sure they're getting a
the
tan,
tanning.
whatever. Typically where the equator is, you know, because they will not get it. It's only 5% that's getting. But the UVA rays, it's throughout the year.
Yeah.
So even right now when it's very cloudy, we've been having the rains, you know, the UVA rays are present.
Wow.
So you're not having a sunscreen, your pigmentation is not going anywhere.
It
It doesn't matter how much niacinamide you're using.
Yeah, you're still going to.
Yes. And some of these actives, they actually even make you more photosensitive. So you're even attracting the UVA rays more
Or that's why sometimes
on your skin. So it
it's
even
written,
becomes
do
worse.
not wear this product without sunscreen.
Without sunscreen, yes. Even medications, you see if you're on tretinoin, you're on what, this like make sure you are on a sunscreen. So those are the things I see. And I see a lot of that when I look around. And then now with photoaging, it occurs very slowly. As you're saying with pigmentation, it can be immediate and then it can be made to be persistent. Now with photoaging, it creeps on you very slowly. Yeah, it's like a bad disease you don't know you have.
Yeah.
So that's why I say when I look at now women in terms of the age group, it's typically I'm seeing 45, 50, 55. You look around.
Yeah.
Whether they're in North Kinangop, where they've used a Remis, and they're as natural as they can say, and they live in Nairobi and they've tried a few products on their faces, typically you'll see it because it runs over a period of time. So you went under a skin analysis, you know, just to check. And now that's when you remember skin is an organ. On surface level, when you look at it, we don't remember it's an organ. But when you see it that way, you can see it has layers to it. And the damage occurs internally. By the time you see it externally, then the damage is already to extent. So the same thing with sun damage. It's occurring internally because you're not having anything that's blocking. So the UV rays get all the way to the dermis.
Yes.
So what do? Your elastic, we have that, they keep the collagen strong. All those fibers, you get dismantled and damaged. Pigmentation, because that's why you have the melanocytes, everything. But you're not seeing it on surface level. You're going 1 year, 2 year, you're fine. Even 10 years for some. But 15, 20 years down the line, it's like you wake up and have you ever seen women at 50, they're like, this thing is not going away. My daughter, please help me. I want something to apply so that it goes. And it cannot because it's been occurring for a long period of time. And that's why sunscreen should be paramount to our skincare routine.
Wow. Hey, I didn't know.
I love that. And so,
I didn't know.
Then what about the strength of like a sunscreen? Is that now?
Wait, I think Samira wanted to add something.
Strength and then
You can add? Okay.
Okay. So the SPF aspect. So of course all sunscreen come with the SPF, the sun protection factor, which is like a math to it, which just means it's the amount of hours a sunscreen can protect you. It's never typically the amount of strength. Yeah. And I think there's been a lot of education with a lot of influencers, which sometimes I engage and they get to tell this to typical audiences. So the people would be like, I want SPF 90, 75, But at the end of the day, an SPF 30, let me pick the most common, SPF 30 and SPF 50, which is like the most common in the market right now in Kenya. SPF 30 will protect like 96% of the UV rays, both combined, UVB and UVA. And then 50 will protect like 97%. So the difference is only 1% between a 30 and a 50. It's not a matter of strength. But a 30,
I didn't know that.
They always say typically a 30 you'll need reapplication because every 4 to 5 hours, then how do I put it? How it's formulated, it's like wearing out on your skin. So you need to reapply to keep it on. But an SPF 50 will protect you longer. Also in the sense that your day-to-day activities don't make you sweat too much. You're oily, you're not, your sebum is not overly produced and then messing up, of course, what you have on the surface level. Then that you'd need to reapply. But typically that's the science behind it.
Wow.
There's also something else I've heard about mineral sunscreen, chemical sunscreen. It's like a craze.
Yes.
I don't want a chemical sunscreen, I want a mineral sunscreen.
Yeah.
Typically people thinking, if I was to ask you, what do you think about a mineral sunscreen? Why would you pick that? Typically as a As a
As a
typical,
layman.
as a layman.
It sounds organic.
Yeah.
It
Right?
sounds...
The minerals, yeah?
Yeah.
It's avocado and whatever mixed together. It's, you know, it's very natural.
Yeah, just tell us more about the difference.
All right, so, and
Gosh.
I hope I don't say minro.
Yeah.
The mineral aspect of it, typically, all sunscreens have what in common? Every product has a preservative. So if there's a preservative, then that means already there's a chemical. So you can't say it's all natural, unless you're making it in your kitchen and put it in the fridge.
Yes.
You're getting all these microorganisms.
Is that an
and
option?
then- Yes, it's
Is
not
that
an
an option?
You
No.
get so many microorganisms.
Oh,
You know,
bacteria.
Yeah,
Don't
kitchen
laugh. I had to
phase.
know.
It's okay, Dr.
Doctor, yeah. So for a mineral sunscreen and how they work. Now going back to the UV rays that I've talked about. So when you apply a mineral sunscreen, and that's where we are for ours at La Roche-Posay, the Andelios range for sunscreen. The mineral sunscreen we only have is for babies who are typically 6 months to 3 years of age.
Okay.
This is why. When you apply a mineral sunscreen, it's like a piece of cloth. So when you put it on top, when the UV rays come, they come and then they are reflected
They bounce.
back. So immediately you rub it out, it's gone. And then all mineral sunscreens leave a white cast. So that means when you apply it here, you can be able to tell where you applied. Hence why we always give it to babies, because with moms, you'd know this leg is applied this quarter, they moved, they peed on me, and I changed and I forgot. So in between, yes. And then now, because it's not being absorbed anywhere on the skin, it's just typically like a cloth. It's a layer. So when
it's
you
like a
wipe it, it's
raincoat.
gone. And baby skin is very thin, very young, so you don't need anything that gets in absorbed. But now the chemical aspect of now the chemical sunscreen, which is everything else, once, doesn't leave a white cast. So any sunscreen you're using with no white cast, it means it's a chemical sunscreen. But it doesn't mean it's full of chemicals, no. They all have zinc oxide as a common ingredient, you know, to help with the UV rays. But now with the chemical sunscreen, when you apply it, you remember the skin is an organ? So you have your dermis under, your epidermis on top. Epidermis is made up of 5 layers. The top part of the layer where you shed off your dead skin cells, literally where you wipe with your towel when you want to dry out, it's called the stratum corneum. So when you apply the sunscreen, a chemical sunscreen, it's absorbed just there on that layer. So it's not getting like inside. Because its main job is to make sure these sun rays don't penetrate where? To the dermis, where the damage will occur. All right? So when you apply a chemical sunscreen, it just gets absorbed there. Doesn't leave a white cast. But now when the sun rays and the UV rays come, what do? They get blocked. So they can't penetrate deeper and you get the protection. But immediately you wash it with soap and water, it's gone. It's off. Okay? Can you swim and still have some parts remaining? Yes, we can, especially with sunscreen that are labeled like La Roche-Posay, like waterproof, because you need at least some soap to be able to take it out the way you do even with your typical dead skin cells. So that's the only difference when it comes to a chemical and a mineral sunscreen.
Thank
The more we
you.
know.
Wow.
We're learning. We're really learning.
This has been an episode for learning.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think now for my case, I mentioned I work with MYDAWA, and the beautiful thing about technology is our patients now send us photos of their skin.
Wow.
So like you'll find like a consultation is booked, and then they've shown you like, this is what I've been having, these are the products I've been using. And a common thing that I've been noticing is even the patients themselves will tell you. So you see, I started this product, it didn't work for a month, I removed it from my, and then I bought this, and then you guys had a discount, I bought this, and then, so I'm like, in a span of 3 months, you've tried 1, 2, 3 different ranges of the same, like, you know, kind of like the same whatever, and you've not even understood what your skin type is. And so like the team now is like empowered, and they know about like the different combinations, and like, this is an oily skin, babe, so she needs this. This is a dry skin, so she needs maybe this. Even I have a guy on my team, by the way, and he knows.
Wow.
Yeah, he knows.
Take note. Take note, fellow Kenyans.
And he's been trained to know like oily skin deserves, like, you know, like can get this. But then we also know sometimes it can get cystic, and then that's where you need like maybe the adapalines to help, or like the tretinoins to help. But up to a certain level. It can also get to a certain percentage where we're like, let's just refer to through to our dermatologist like channels, so that first of all you actually get a skin analysis. The dermatologist can give you a regimen, and then now you can combine, as you said, with the derma Damo Cosmetics.
Indeed.
Damo Cosmetics.
That's it.
On MYDAWA.
That's
Yeah.
it. Come on.
And you know how our marketing team is just overworking with our lovely discounts.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think it's for the past 2 years, I feel like even patients send back in, like, see, they've sent the original photo.
Yeah.
They send back the after photo.
I
And
love
it's
that.
so
A feedback
nice.
one.
You can
Yeah,
see
that's
the
so nice.
difference.
Huh?
Yeah, and they're like,
Yeah.
wow, I'd love to thank Dr. So-and-so, my skin
Wow.
is so... And in fact,
Yeah.
there's someone on my team who is now treating, like, the entire office. I mean, I'm walking around in the office.
People
and I'm
are
like,
glowing.
wow, your skin is
We're all
glowing.
glowing.
And they're all like, yeah, Dr. Mabel
Perks of
treated
having a doctor
me.
in the office, yeah?
Yes.
And I'm like, this doctor is not even coming to talk to me.
To
eh?
you.
Excuse me?
Come talk to you
It's
direct.
going around the
Come and
corners.
talk
Past the corners. Yes.
I'm here telling her KPIs. that.
You are the
Doing the
KPI.
Lord's work. So yeah, so I feel like getting this like skin photos and all this so that you're able to see, because again it's telehealth. You cannot, it's as opposed to a physical consultation where I can examine you.
Yeah.
Like for telehealth, you can easily now when you get the photos when you're like, okay, now I see what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I love
MYDAWA.
MYDAWA really is the plug.
Very amazing.
Hey, continue with the
platform.
discounts,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
I am a victim.
A happy victim.
A happy
A
one.
victim.
Hey, continue.
I think this has been such an amazing conversation.
has.
Naomi, Thank you so much.
This one needs a part 2
As
for
in,
sure.
I feel like we do. I feel
Yeah,
like we
yeah.
have, with
Needs
the
a part
questions
two.
that we'll get from this episode, that I'm hoping you guys will fill the comment section with all your questions, and we'll be able to bring Naomi back and have a deeper conversation about maybe particular issues that people might have that we haven't been able to delve into or discuss in this episode. But this has been so informative, even I think for the three of us. Thank you so much. Before we finalize and give you a time to give us your parting shot, we have a challenge for you. So one of the things we do is that each episode, the guest who came on before you gives you a challenge, and then we'll give you an opportunity to give a challenge to the next guest who comes on. So this is we're given 2 options, but we'll give you 3. Because we also have one that's just hanging in the air. Yeah, we are so generous. We are generous. We are
Wow.
Look at us. Smart.
What's
This couch is smart. So you could choose one of the 3. 1, you could do 5 burpees. 2, you could give us a short wrap. And you could do it on skincare, actually.
Okay.
Or 3,
Actually,
you could do a little dance for us, and we could pick a song for you, and you could dance.
actually,
us
just
in
a
camera.
dance and sing.
You can even dance and sing.
Dance for yourself as you sing.
As you sing your song. Hey, is she Beyonce?
Okay. Let me not even do it. You do it.
So you could pick one of the 3.
Or
and
she
then-
can sing for her and then she dances.
I can sing for you a
by the
song.
way,
Yeah.
She's a good singer.
But you're the songstress, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
So I have
songstress.
to rap. It's not it's
Okay,
rapping.
Fantastic.
Yes,
Please
rap
rap fast.
I've never rapped in my
Do you like
life.
a beat, or do we just do boom, 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 boom? Actually, the 3 of us could beatbox for
You
you.
can beatbox and then maybe have where I cue you say, I don't know, flawless or something. I don't know.
I love that.
You know what?
Wow. I think she's prepared.
Yeah. She was ready.
This is great. This is great. Okay.
This is pressure. My mind is blank.
Skin.
You could just read out the
What
ingredients
a
of
good
one
spot.
product.
Yeah.
Make it a wrap.
Samira, you say flawless.
I'll
Okay.
say flawless.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, let's go. Boom, 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 boom.
You know your skincare?
boom, 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 boom.
You know your routine?
Boom, boom, boom.
Now you know your skin type.
Boom, 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 boom.
If you're oily.
You're meant to say dry.
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh no, flawless. Flawless. Oh, it was
Flawless.
flawless. I got it wrong, guys. Yeah.
So thank you. First of all, that was beautiful. Wow. Well
I
done.
know. You know
you
your
have a
skincare.
career in rap. If you didn't know, now
You guys
know.
got me family members because I'd have no career in rap.
And if you start a rap career, you had it first here on the MYHEALTH MYWAY podcast.
We're lying
Give
to
a
you.
chance for a parting shot before we finalize the episode.
All right.
Yeah.
So for me, this has been amazing. I love MYDAWA. First of all, because it's the only platform where I trust online to get your legitimate dermo cosmetics. And I always say that, at La Roche-Posay CeraVe, if you're not buying at any other local pharmacy, that's physical, just go to MYDAWA.
Wow.
That's the thing. And for this being a podcast whereby, we're really looking at the different problems, skincare being one, thank you so much. I feel this was a nice touch base.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of having different pathologies. We can have acne as a set,
Yes.
eczema as a set,
Right.
pigmentation as a set, to really deep dive. But what you can take home today, make sure you get a good cleanser, favorable for your skin type. You know, get a good moisturizer and a sunscreen. Those are the 3 basics, basically. Just those 3.
Yeah.
Then from there you can build up, depending, are you having acne or not? Are you having dry skin? Are you having, you know, pigmentation? I need to add a few serums here and there, and even talk to a doctor to get medications. But have those basics not missing throughout. Yeah. So for me, it's been amazing.
Thank you so much, Naomi.
Full of energy. I have some goodie bags.
Guy, did you feel?
Let me tell you. Honestly, I think I only invited Naomi for the goodie bag. I was hoping. I was like,
Did you know?
That's the first truth I've had. So,
you know. Oh wow.
hey, girl, nothing much really.
Eric, can you see?
You're most welcome. You can pass it.
Yeah, let me pass it.
There you go.
Man.
Yeah, so it's mixed up. Now I know your skin types. So I think next time I'll have an idea of how to wrap them better.
Got the glorious vitamin
No
C.
way.
This is my cleanser.
Guys,
And also,
naanza jani leo. Naenda
That's
kuglow.
pigment. That's for
Tuliambiwa
pigmentation.
tushine to
What?
glow.
Yeah, we used to be before we had niacinamide.
so this is for pigmentation,
Pigmentation,
right?
yes.
What is for
Pigmentation.
pigmentation?
Serum.
Yeah, pigment clear.
Hey.
This is what you call a goodie bag. What
Guys, you wish you were us.
Surely, as in
Hey.
kusema kweli, and all my friends who are going to try to text me now. Oh, she please. Oh, Sri, what? Have you texted me before? Did you text me happy Valentine's Day?
Guy, anyway,
So that's why the
Also,
small.
this-
Yes, you can even give it to someone.
this is travel size.
This the SA smoothing cleanser. What I love about it is you can use it on different parts of your body. For example, if you've just finished like your wax or your shave, this is fantastic.
Hey, doctor.
Also, you know
Damadouche.
what else works though? Cicaplast. Wow, that
So many
babe
things we
just
haven't talked
tells you.
about. Indeed.
Really?
Is it the one with the big bottle that
Yeah.
the moisturizer that's kind of thick?
Cicaplast.
Guys,
It's
before
like a
we-
tube.
Before we
it's a
lose our
tube, huh?
minds here,
Yeah.
Thank
yeah.
you so much, Naomi. Thank you so
You're
much.
most welcome, ladies.
Guys, we appreciate you for being here with us. Let me even just keep this baby here. We appreciate you guys so much for being here with us. Please follow us on all our platforms. We are on MYDAWA everywhere. On YouTube, we will have an entire playlist for all the episodes for this podcast, and on all social media platforms under MYDAWA. It's been lovely having you. We are your hosts. Until next time. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
So, could you please give us a challenge?
It's going to be
for-
the 3 of you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, dear.
All right. So now that you told me about skin and I'm all about skin, maybe next time you can just talk about your skincare routine in either Swahili or your mother tongue. So
Oh God, why would you do that to me?
it's a
Wow,
challenge.
I love
Not
that.
the Swahili or the mother tongue.
I love that.
Oh
That's
my
beautiful.
God.
I love
I'll say
that.
it in the language.
going
Yeah,
to go
please
buy
tell
a
us
kamusi.
your. Please tell. No, see, it's for the next guest, you guys.
Yes,
Ah,
for the 3 of
we are the
you.
next guest.
Natumianga hii mafuta.
By the way, I want to do that. I
Kuna
want to do that.
seriamu natumiaga, ngojeni mtasikia.
Actually, so the next guest to say their skin routine in their mother tongue or their
Swahili.
language.
Yeah. Swahili is
Can you please say it in
You'll
your
do
mother
it.
tongue?
be proud of it if you know it. People want to know their mother tongue, they don't know.
Jekiraga.
Stay tuned.
Moisturizer, yeah, actually, guys, we're even practicing.
Guys.
Guys, thank you. We've been your hosts. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bella.